The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, getting back into the swing of things. Golf season, Presidents Cup breakdown, bets, props, DraftKings picks, because yes, there is a DraftKings game with a captain mode for the Presidents Cup. We'll go over the rules and scoring of that in just a little bit. I do want to let everyone out there know, step number one, you hit the description of this video or podcast, you will see a link that says Vote Mayo on it, and you should go vote Mayo for Fantasy Analyst of the Year and Sports Betting Analyst of the Year to really help out the show. We give you all this stuff for free. Take the 45 seconds and please vote for Mayo in this contest. It could lead to big things for the show. I swear to God on that one. But if you just want to get into draw for DK bucks after doing that, smash the like button for the video, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me which player on either team is going to score the most points at the President's Cup. But if you want to get into a draw for 75 DK bucks, what you do is subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, download those episodes, leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, and something you like about the show. If it's golf that you're concerned about, we have this show for golf, we have a majors preview, we have a player preview, all coming out before the Tournament of Champions, and of course, we're back into our regular schedule once Hawaii hits, because Geoff Fienberg is in studio. There's no cust here. We're back to the regular golf show. Me and you, pal.
I don't know, good times. I love these shows.
I know. It's funny, during football season, and Paul can attest to this, I really hate like the Asian swing, just because it's no cut, like it's not fun, but like football's such a grind. And I do 7 shows a week on football. And it's talking about, like, we do the spread show, but then there's like a DraftKings show, there's season long, like there's different aspects and different angles that you can take on it, but it's the same information over and over and over. So I'd get to do that like one show with Rick or that one show with Ben. I'd be all fired up to talk about golf. I am fired up to talk about golf again.
Yeah, love it. I'm warming up to the President's Cup. I'm excited. I think the time zone will go to bed with it.
So yeah, let's mention that right away. Lineup lock on DraftKings, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, which I believe is 8 a.m. Thursday in Australia, which is, I believe, when it actually starts. That's when DraftKings is saying lock is, so you have to have your lineups in by then. The scoring for DraftKings this week is very similar to the match play, except there is a captain's mode. So you designate one player as your captain. Their salary will cost 1.5 what it normally would cost, but they score 1.5 the amount of points that they would normally score as well. You designate that player as your captain. Other than that, you get 3 points for a hole won, 0.75 for a hole halved, minus 0.75 for a hole lost, 1.6 for holes not played. So if you win, like, you pull a tiger on Stephen Ames, you're going to get a lot of bonus points on that one. Overall matches won, +5, matches halved, +2, a streak of 3 consecutive holes won, +5, no holes lost, match bonus, +7.5. Those are all of the rules of DraftKings scoring this week. I'd recommend leaving a few bucks on the table so you don't have the same lineup as everyone else. It's not like there's a ton of people on these teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what the big thing with the captain's pick. It'll sort of change some level of variance with the teams. But yeah, you got to get freaky.
Agreed. So do you want to do this by DraftKings price first, or you want to go team by team?
It's up to you. You're the captain.
All right, so let's do it this way. I'll give you the DraftKings pricing right now for the U.S. team. Justin Thomas is the most expensive player. To be your Capitan, El Capitan, he would be $16,200. Xander Schauffele is $15,300. Dustin Johnson, $14,100. Tiger Woods, fresh off a nice showing, the Hero World Challenge, 12-6 as a captain. Cantlay, 12-3. Patrick Reed, 11-7. Webb Simpson, 11-1. Ricky, the late ad, replacing Brooks Koepka, 10-5. Gary Woodland, 9-9. Bryson DeChambeau, 8-7. Tony Finau, 8-1. Matt Kuchar, 7.8. And that's going to be it for the U.S. team. So the U.S. team valued a bit more, and those are all captain's prices. They're less when you pick your captain, then fill out the rest of your team. Obviously, like Kuchar is only $5,200 as it comes down to it, the lowest price player on the team. But we should start with, do you want to talk about pairings? Do you want to talk about Patrick Reed? What do you want to talk about?
You're the captain here. I'm down for any part of it.
Okay, let's talk about Patrick Reed to begin with. Patrick Reed at the Hero World Challenge was assessed a 2-stroke penalty for moving a bit of sand. He ended up losing by 2 strokes, so he would have been at least in a playoff with Henrik Stenson a week ago had he have not cheated. One thing I don't like is, I don't know whether it's just golf Twitter, maybe it's the people that I follow. People need to take a big glass of calm the fuck down juice. Like, who cares? Honestly, it's a exhibition golf event. Kick Patrick Reed off the tour. Like, fuck off. I like that he's out there cheating. I'd be trying to cheat. And if I'm Team USA, I want the guy who's trying to cheat on my team. You're only a cheater if you get caught. Maybe you should get better at like not getting caught at cheating.
I bet him this past week, so it was a kick in the nuts, but maybe that's part of the reason I like him so much is bet him. He's won for us before, and I don't know, hope he's not in featured groups because he always be trying something.
Yeah, and
Like,
as you pointed out to me, him cheating in this sort of aspect isn't like when I play and my ball's like near a rock by the rough outline, so I just kick it out.
Yeah, people were acting like he picked this ball up and like threw it somewhere.
Yeah, or took his driver and smashed a fan in the head with it.
I get it. It was like pretty egregious and it was pretty ballsy and he was caught on camera, but yeah.
And he was penalized for it. He lost because of it.
I don't,
He's like Shooter McGavin in Doug's office. He's a disgrace to the game. Kick him off the tour.
there seems to be this big differentiating point between penalties that are just innocent mistakes and penalties that seem intentional.
It was probably intentional.
I agree, but I think there could have been a lot of penalties that have been intentional before.
Like?
I'm just saying, in the game of golf, like guys have done things and they haven't reported them, or things where they intentionally got away with cheating.
Yeah, wasn't it like Sung Kang a few years ago got away with it?
Yeah, Joel Jamin, I think, like called him on it on the internet, but everyone just laughed about it.
Yeah.
No, I think this was polarizing because he was like in the lead, but I don't know.
And because it's Patrick Reed and no one likes Patrick Reed.
Listen.
Put it this way, if this was, well, I was going to say Matt Kuchar pre the tipping thing, but who did you say, if it was Ricky Fowler who did this, people would not be like, kick him off the team. No one would say that. It'd be like, oh shit, Ricky, man, you made a mistake.
Yeah. And Rory, I think Rory made a quote that came out last night or today that's saying like people kind of need to chill. Like Patrick, everyone is always looking to bring down Patrick. If it wasn't this, it was something else. And people were like, shame on you, Rory. Shame on you for not like taking a hard line and wanting him kicked off and not telling Keith Pelly to rescind his lifetime European Tour membership. Guess what, everybody? The bad guy, the real life bad guy that you all hate, will get used to him because he's not going anywhere. He's going to be on the Ryder Cup team. He's going to be on more Presidents Cup teams. And he's going to be at the Masters every freaking year. Forever.
Till we die.
So he's here. Enjoy it. We have a top 20 player in the world, Pat, who is a real life bad guy.
I love it. This is why I'm wearing the Patrick Reed Masters winning shirt right now.
There it is. You can like be disgusted at the actions, but you got to be here.
Should you really be disgusted at the actions of something that happens in a golf tournament? Like, calm down.
I'm just saying there are people like you can, but like to not sort of be entertained by this, and everyone who's in the content business of this sport. I mean, this guy is freaking evergreen. I mean,
we should just have a stock Patrick Reed show.
This guy is here. And I cannot wait till we get the team pictures. I cannot wait for Justine's stories. Oh, the best, though, was Patrick Reed after the tournament sort of saying he felt that he was sort of hard done by, but he hadn't paid any attention to social media.
Of course.
Despite the fact that his account was on a blocking spree the night before.
I assume that's his wife who controls his account.
It had to have been Justine, but I can't wait to see Justine. I can't wait. I mean, we'll talk about the Ryder Cup. I can't wait for that like gala that's probably going down tonight in Australia, like Tuesday night, as we're all going to be figuring out times. Like the pictures, oh my God. Oh, they'll be dressed to slay.
Let me ask you this. If you had a choice, you were in a wrestling stable, you were in like the NWO or anything like that.
It's an easy one for me.
Would you want Eddie Guerrero in your stable? The answer is yes. If you're going to cheat to win, you want that guy on your team. You want the guy who will do anything to win.
People are so, like, they're mad at Tiger for not commenting. And then
I can't take these people.
But people,
that stuff pisses me off more than Patrick Reed stuff.
People take it back even farther that like he shouldn't have even been on the team before this. It all really bothers me. And anyone that follows me, I was at a fun little get together with friends on Saturday,
having a few sips,
having a bit of everything. Good time. Really good time. And just a guy who's friends with the person who hosted came up to me, put some air in my tires, said he really liked the feed. And was talking to me about the Reed thing, and I mentioned I was fired up. And I just said, I had zero time for anybody. If you like bashed him and made a joke or whatever, you didn't like it, that was cool. But any notion that he should have been kicked off the Presidents Cup team, my fingers were ready. Like, my fingers were firing.
You were being like a real keyboard warrior this weekend?
No, that bothered me. That bothered me. A penalty that was dealt with in the course of the tournament that severely cost him does not disqualify you from all-star teams. As far as it doesn't.
And it was basically an exhibition event anyway. It was like
it's an exit with real money and real points. And
it's no different than in Shaq versus when Shaq came off the sidelines to intercept Ben Roethlisberger and the touchdown counted.
Yeah, I mean
exactly the same thing.
We all do it. I'm in the bunker, lying 6. My buddy's like, Fienberg, whatever the fuck you need to do to get out of there, like, sure, draw a line behind your ball.
Yeah.
Help you remind yourself to hit behind the ball.
And you get caught, you lose the strokes. Like, boom. We're good to
It's
go.
all, watch out for Fienberg in the bunkers at the DFS Open.
I'm probably going to be so drunk I can't stand up and get out of the bunker. So it's not that big of a deal for me.
So I'm here for it. But Tiger made him a captain's pick. Do you think Tiger would have made him a captain's pick if, like, guys who were staples on the team, if, like, 7 of the 8 of them said, Tiger, we don't want him? If Stricker and ZJ and the other vices said, Tiger, we don't want him? No, he probably wouldn't have.
Do you think that the hatred for Patrick Reed is a media thing, not necessarily a player's thing? I don't know.
I think it is actually a player's thing.
I'm sure he's not, like, well-liked, but I don't think people really hate him in the media.
Remember this? What happened...
Like, he didn't even get a Ricky hug after he won the Masters.
Remember the incident? Something like he tweeted at a Red Sox game and people lost their minds. Like he was bitching about the seats the tour gave him or something. I fucking love the guy. And I love her. Oh my God. She'll be dressed to kill. It's going to be awesome. And I got some opinions on how this thing's going to go, and I've warmed up to the other side, but I'm almost tempted to say, I don't care the price. I don't care the matchup. I'm ready to bet Patrick Reed. Like in the first time he's picking up a golf club.
Well, let's talk about the course just a little bit then. So Royal Melbourne is the course. 7,047 yards, now playing as a par 71. The last time that we saw the Presidents Cup at Royal Melbourne, it was in 2011, where the U.S. won 19-15. The all-time record in this event is 10-1-1 for the United States over the international team. The tie actually came at Royal Melbourne in 1998, when the teams drew that season. Looking at it right now, that the average world ranking of the USA players is 12.2. Adam Scott is the highest ranked player on the international team. He is 18th in the world rankings. So there's a big discrepancy there. However, the 1 year that the U.S. actually lost this event, the average rank for the U.S. players was 12.6, and the average ranking for the international team was 33.3.
Isn't that something?
It's kind of nuts.
Saw that on Justin Ray was tweeting about that.
That was in South Africa. So in 2005 is when that was. So yeah, the all-time record 10-1-1. No one really expects the international team to win this whatsoever, but to actually to bet them to win outright now, you can bet the United States minus 275, the internationals plus 275, or a draw at 12-1. Tim Andercust has already told us, Jeff, that he thinks the internationals are going to win. And now you're warming up to the idea. I do not think that they're going to win.
I think it's just going to be a lot more entertaining. I don't actually think they're going to win, but I'm considering betting them plus some points. To lift the trophy, which takes the tie out of it, because I know that one tie, and people sometimes just for peace of mind don't like seeing it there.
It's minus 400.
Yeah. That's pretty steep. I mentioned to you before we started recording, this is our third Presidents Cup I guess, time frame. So I guess time really
yeah,
does fly by.
It's our third Presidents Cup show.
In doing a show together, I have now I don't think to brag about calling the Presidents Cup is anything, but
You've consecutively picked the USA
No.
and they've won twice in a row.
no, the first one we did was the one where Lahiri missed like a 4-footer and Kirk hit like a 12-footer to like save them to avoid the tie. That one I was all about the plus money on getting like plus a couple points that hit. That was the one where a site that didn't exist before ran a contest before we have these great contests now offered by DraftKings that I won because Team Louie and Grace. And then in the one a couple years ago, I laid the piper. Like, I'll admit, like, I dropped like 2,200 to win 1,000. Like, there was no way America was losing.
But
like,
you feel a bit more pensive this time.
I am not. The only case for the world team is it's not a real case. It's the U.S. arrived in Australia at 10:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Half the team has never seen a golf course that by anyone that's ever stepped on it one time acknowledges what a sort of masterpiece, almost like Augusta-like greens with insane sort of everything.
Undulations is the word you're looking for.
Thank you. That it is a course you kind of need to know. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing. There's no case. You can't look at these rosters. Yes, Adam Scott or Louis or somebody, Leishman can go head to head and beat anybody, but it's the back of the pack. It's like when we get to the back, that's where the mismatch is always
How
happening.
dare you throw some shade at the Panimal?
It's the reality. It's always the reality of the President's Cup. It's just the team. Once you get to the back end, like it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
They could have had a good team. They could have made some better captain's picks. Although now Byung-Hun An is on the team instead of Jason Day, who's injured. But if they had just taken, like, the captain's picks weren't egregious for the international team. Like, I feel like Hadwin is an egregious pick. Not that he's bad by anything, but there were just better players they could have. Like, taking Corey Connors would have made a lot more sense.
Okay, that was a thing.
If you're going to take Byung-Hun An as the fill-in guy, why not take Canadian Byung-Hun An? Like, just take ball strikers and hope it works out. And, like, I know I'm biased that Si Woo's not on this team, but, like, just throw him in there. He could be the best guy there for 4 days. He really could. He could be the worst guy there. We know that.
Reading into the Hadwin versus Connors thing, because in the moment it caught me by surprise, and Els' sort of follow-up comments to it were that
he's a good putter.
Yeah, and that he looked into pressure situations and how they performed when they were sort of in pressure situations, and you sort of got the vibe that Els is like Corey Connors can't hit a 5-footer, he can't be on the team. Yeah, that was sort of like their take, even if it's 5-footer to win the hole, like for birdie. I don't know. And because of these Augusta-like greens, they say, and that's why you made the great point that I know, it would have been a laugh and he doesn't deserve it, but the setup actually is perfect for Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, it really is.
He could make you could triple bogey, it counts as a loss.
Hit the ball out of bounds on one hole. Yeah,
you have a teammate. You have
one hole.
Or you have a teammate in the fairway to bail you out, but you make those you make everything happen on Masters-esque undulations where that's his bread and butter. You bring his putting. Granted, they're a much deeper team and they have more options and they can afford to not. And I don't think they'll lose. But if USA does lose, Reed and Tiger will get all the blame.
Agreed.
Like all of the blame.
And
will
that's
go to them.
the reason that they're not going to lose is because Tiger's the captain.
Well,
that's just not going to happen.
When Tim threw out those crazy, like they're going to lose, I was like, no, there's one reason that they can't lose, forgetting the talent, is Tiger Woods over his dead body is going to allow. It's one thing to lose a Ryder Cup as a captain. I think we would accept it and we'd move on. Over his dead body is his name going to be beside an L here as a minus 400 to lift a trophy.
Put it this way.
They'll walk home. They could all drive. They could all afford their own planes back.
Joaquin Niemann may be the 5th best player on the international team.
Yeah, no, it's a bad look. The fact that we're doing this, I'm now cooling again on like even taking like +3.
What is +3 paying? I couldn't find those odds.
Ah, damn, we don't have those yet.
So no, we don't. So here's the top internet,
Come on.
top US team score. We'll start there, okay? We'll go. Justin Thomas is +450 to have the most points. Xander 6-1, Dustin 6.5, Cantlay 7, Reed 8, Fowler 10, Tiger 11. Gary Woodland 12, Webb 12, Bryson 14, Finau 16, Kuchar 18. So one of the big things you need to factor in to all of this, whether it's DraftKings scoring, whether it's betting on these props, whatever it might be, is that not everyone is going to play every single round. There's 30 total points to go around. You're going to have team events. You're going to have your four balls, your alternate.
5 sessions.
5 sessions. So not everyone's going to play.
But who's going to be in 5 sessions?
If you had to guess from the U.S. team which players play all 5 sessions, the only one that I can think of that I would lock in to play all 5 sessions is Justin Thomas.
Yeah, and that's being the books seem to have that feeling. And for some reason,
And
the books are on DeXander maybe playing all these sessions.
Well, it's because,
But we could, by process of eliminate, Tiger's even acknowledged
he's not playing all 5.
Well, he would never play all 5, but he's even acknowledged, I saw this thing with him, everyone has to play at least 2. That's
good.
The minimum everyone has to play. And everyone is automatically playing the singles. So there's one spot. So, Tiger would never play all 5. A guy like Matt Kuchar could obviously won't be playing all 5. Someone even joked with me, Pat, that yes, there's no kicking Reed off the team, but let's say they actually did want to punish him.
Only let him play twice.
You fly him 18 hours to literally bench him.
But
you bench him Thursday, Friday. You let him play one of the sessions on Saturday and then a singles. Because as we mentioned, the Ryder Cup is a 3-day tournament. They do double sessions, Friday, Saturday, Sunday singles. This, we have 5 matches, pair matches Thursday, 5 pair matches Friday, Australia dates.
Yeah.
Push it all back.
Then single.
The
slate,
double,
single
the,
slate.
the double, no, Saturday is the back-to-back.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
And then Sunday will be our 12 singles. And you mentioned the start time of the DraftKings lock at 3 p.m. That would be perfect because I assume American TV has demand. They're like, we only have 5 matches to play. Why do we have to start at 8 a.m.? You got to start at 8 a.m. so we can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this thing could be on.
It's the same reason Tiger is the captain. So people will watch it.
I think even Bubba threw some shade at Tiger
For not taking a hit?
Well, I think Bubba really wanted to be a vice captain, and he got not even a player, just like an assistant, and Tiger snubbed him. And Bubba seems to think that, I don't know, he didn't seem to agree with Tiger's captain's pick. Said it was more for TV.
If that was the case, then Spieth and Phil would be on this team. That was when we made that Spieth bet. I thought they would take Spieth, and that is not what happened because they didn't take Fowler either until later. Yeah. Your captain's picks really would have been Fowler, Spieth, and Phil. If it was just for TV.
Okay, so
Tiger picking himself.
let's try to figure this out. Who's got 5 sessions in them? Does Ricky Fowler have 5 sessions?
I don't think that you can be the last man on the team and all of a sudden you're playing 5 sessions, unless he's Justin Thomas's partner. That's the part you need to figure out. Who's playing with
And then
JT.
who gets 3-0, and then they're like, oh, you guys are going back out for the double barrel Saturday.
So here's the sneaky ones here that I think that could play all 5 sessions because I think that they're going to play together. Now, this could be wrong because Woodland's a candidate to play all 5 sessions. He's 12-1. But Bryson and Webb might play together. And I think that's a really good pairing because they do the exact opposite things well. Bryson, despite his struggles recently, is still smashing the ball off the tee. And he's one of the better off the tee players in the world. And Webb just, after the ball has been hit into the fairway, all of a sudden Webb is one of the best players in the world. I think that's a really sneaky team. And I think they might play together.
Yeah, I don't know. Bryson's going through some things right now. And I'll almost make the thing about Bryson is people are kind of writing him off. I'm not writing him off for a second because he's going to figure out what he's doing and then it's going to work.
It's going to click.
And I'll make jokes. But one thing I'm going to be doing all of 2020 is keeping an eye on him. Because the second you see it coming, you just hope Matthew Wolff won't drain on like a 40-footer to ruin it.
To beat him, yeah. So from the hero, the round 1 pairings, if you wanted to read into it at all, the guys that played together on the U.S. team, Xander and Woodland played together, Bryson and Webb played together, Reed and Cantlay played together, Tiger played with Justin Thomas, Fowler and Finau played together. Those were all the pairings of the players that were involved in the Presidents Cup. I actually think that Reed and Tiger are going to play together.
Yeah, no, I would almost guarantee it. I thought that before the incident was very likely, although there was the Justin Thomas vibes and Tiger being able to call his own number and Tiger liking to win, you sort of felt was setting up a stage where he would get to play with Justin. But being part of a captain, being a leader in life is sometimes doing the shitty jobs. And it
takes heat off Reed too.
Yeah.
Like all the talk about Reed, like, oh, no one wants to play with Tiger's like, I'll play with him.
And let's not forget, they really like each other. Sorry, I should put it more importantly. Tiger really, really likes Patrick Reed. Apparently, they developed a kinship at the 2016 Ryder Cup when Tiger wasn't playing and he was a vice, and he spent the week with Reed and following maybe Reed in his matches. Tiger was one of the very few people, I'm disappointed in a lot, that literally stood up for Reed after a lot of people were spewing crap about the incidents in Paris at the Ryder Cup. Tiger was vocally had his back, vocally said, I'd play with him any day.
You might have to now.
And now, yeah.
Who's playing with Kuchar?
He's an easy guy to play with. You throw him out there with like a Schauffele, a rookie.
He's 18-1.
Who are the
to be the highest scoring
But
guy?
he's not going to play.
But only two people sit out per, isn't it? Or is it
5?
Or is it 4?
How many guys are on the team?
12.
So two per session sit because there's 5 matches.
So if that's it, then Kuchar's probably going to play 4 sessions. And if he gets with, I don't know, Fowler and Finau probably play
Here's
together.
the thing. The advantage that you have here is unlike the Ryder Cup, Pat, where Friday is double barrel and Saturday is double barrel.
The old dudes can go.
The first 2 days of this, you only have to play 1 match, and you're only asked to go double barrel 1 time, which is Saturday. But Friday, we're going to have the first matches are the foursomes. And that's where, like, I saw Justin Ray tweeted a lifetime 48-17 foursomes USA over international. And it makes sense. We know, like, the 4 ball. Yeah. We know when they got to play the same ball, that's when things get tricky. And these Americans are pretty snobby about like little things.
Yeah, that's like where the Euros had the huge advantage.
Because they're like, they got each other's back.
Well, and they're like, or they'll be like, I'll hit a 3-wood here because I know you're the length that you want to go. The U.S. is like, I'm just going to bomb it.
Yeah. And they're all like picky about whose ball and everything. Like they're pretty snobby about that. And that's where they've gotten beaten. But you put 2 of these guys to get like with playing their own ball
and playing YOLO ball too. Like I'm going to hit it as far as I can.
Yeah. Because they know they have another top 20 player there to back them up.
Yeah, I'm going to go for this.
How many on the American side is Xander and Cantley are the only like true rookies? Because we have Presidents Cup rookies.
Did Xander not?
No, remember they gave it to Finau.
Yeah, they did give it to Finau.
That's a big thing.
Finau just voted on to everything.
Team. Good guys. Although Xander's a good guy too, but Finau could be top point getter too. Was he top point getter for them in?
No, we hit both in
Paris.
In Paris, we actually had the parlay. We hit it. Justin Thomas and Molinari.
Maybe I just remember because Finau beat Fleetwood. Maybe that's just I'm giving him triple points for that.
No, Rahm beat Tiger.
Head. Yeah.
Although Rahm can't win because he melts down.
I can't wait.
I think people are a bit over that one now.
Yeah, a bit. He still hasn't
Well, he won like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he still hasn't. Yeah, he won the like Order of Merit. He won insane, but he hasn't won something big enough.
Yeah, for American people at least.
And don't forget, he choked at the Players.
Yeah. Oh well.
Listen,
he has. I believe it came out that he has as many top 5s through this point in his career as Tiger did. Which is just insane.
Here's a tease to something you'll get in a few weeks.
Rob's your pick to win the Masters.
No, well, that's another tease. But last year he was my pick to win Player of the Year.
He won the Euro Player of the Year.
And I'm gonna go right like you. Justin Thomas might be the only. Justin and Rory would be the only other players I would consider. But that's getting sidetracked.
What do you make of this Dustin injury? He hasn't played since forever ago, and he pulled out of the Hero to make sure he was okay for this. I don't think that I think he's a bad bet at plus
horrible
650.
Horrible bet. Anyone off an injury is a bad bet.
He's not playing all 5 sessions.
Even if he runs 3-0.
Yeah.
He's still
give him
they're
a
just
rest.
gonna say you don't play 2 in a row. His agent has probably told Tiger Saturday 1 max. He's not going twice.
Yeah, Tiger will play 1 max on Saturday. I'm telling you, Bryson and Webb as a team, if they're actually a team, and you'll find out, like they'll announce what the teams are before Thursday, so you can wait. And if you think that team can run, then like run to the odds and like bet these guys. Like, you're all fired up.
I'm fired up. The best thing about the Presidents Cup, the best thing. And don't get me wrong, the Ryder Cup is the best. It crushes this thing. The one thing the Presidents Cup has on the Ryder Cup, and don't get me wrong, how the Ryder Cup does it has its charm, how you blindly pick your like slots. You pretty much put your roster in the tee sheet at the Ryder Cup. You have like 4 tee times, and the captain at the Ryder Cup just goes tee time 1, tee time 2, tee time 3, tee time 4 with the players. He has no idea what's on the other side. At the Presidents Cup,
You draft.
they see it. They're like, we're starting first. It's this guy. And then the other side gets to go, oh, you're blowing that hand? We're going to like throw this one. Or sometimes you see a sacrificial lamb. It's like, oh, the Reed Spieth team, we're throwing Lahiri and
whoever
it was.
Yeah, Pan and Haotong can take them on. Oh,
everyone's
your phone's
excited.
going off.
Everyone's excited. So I love that. That's appointment TV for me.
That should actually make a thing, make it more highly publicized. I feel like people don't know that.
It's fun. And yeah, you see them and then they little huddle up, their little captaincy corners, and it's just all right there.
That's what they should do for the match play too, by the way. You know, in fantasy leagues where
you get to call who you want to play?
Yeah. So if you advance out of your group, everyone gets picked in the groups, and that's draw a lot like the World Cup kind of thing. But once you get to the round of 16, whoever the highest seed is should pick who he wants to play. That would be amazing.
Is golf cool enough for something
golf is
like that?
Golf is freaking out. Golf is freaking out because a guy moved a piece of sand in a fucking bunker.
Not even a bunker.
They are definitely not cool enough to have that.
Not
idea.
even a bunker, a waste area.
Oh, wait, sorry.
No, but I'm saying in a bunker, it's actually different. These waste areas where the spectators are standing.
Well, remember when Dustin Johnson cheated at the PGA Championship? Let's kick him off the tour.
That's when
losing the PGA Championship wasn't enough.
That's when Dustin, you could bet Dustin to win majors at big money. And I had him, and I was at a friend's wedding that night.
Fun fact, he never won any of them at those big numbers. He won as the favorite.
That ruined, literally. I was at a wedding, and that ruined my night.
I had Keimer. I was fired up.
The texts were coming in no, you cheat. What? You can't visualize it. Someone's trying to explain to me what happened. This is before Twitter. Or maybe Twitter was in its infancy. It wasn't what it is. What a horrible night. Yeah, I don't know where we are. I'm so fired up for the showing of the thing.
Well, it's funny because
the team picking.
Neither one of us, and people are going to accuse this show of being incredibly U.S. centric, but neither one of us are American, which I think a lot of people would have accused. And we haven't talked about the internationals at all.
I don't think we've ever bet the USA in a single Ryder Cup show we've done.
No, we always take the Euros. Money. We've actually only ever done one Ryder Cup show together. Because the first Ryder Cup year, you were banned from my show.
No,
that's how we've done 3 Presidents Cups.
We did the Ryder Cup show. We were wrong. We had the year the U.S. won. We had that loser fucking Fitzpatrick Willett team.
That's right.
We had that team. We did a show together. What an idiot team that was. What a
bad news.
It was horrible captain's picks. It was almost like a back end Presidents Cup team. It was not, could not hold its own.
Oh, the Matthew Fitzpatrick truthers are going to come get you now.
Listen,
he's elite, He can't win shit in the U.S., but when it comes to the Omega Masters, he's great.
Here's a tease, 5th round. I drafted him.
Oh yeah, we do have that draft show that's coming out. Yeah, you picked him.
I did. So you can't be that mad at me. I don't know where we go from here.
Let's talk about the international. So the odds for highest scoring international, and I think this is where the softest market is right now. Hideki is plus 450 to be the highest scoring international. Scott Louis at 5 and 5.5 to 1. Sungjae at 7 to 1. Leishman 7 to 1. Cam Smith 8 to 1. Neiman 11. Byung-hun An 14. Haotong 16. Hadwin 16. The Mexican Allen Iverson, Abraham the Answer 18 to 1. And Panamaniacs 25 to 1 to be the highest scorer. Both you and I, we found a better number on Louis. That is not 550. Was it 8 to 1?
No, 650.
650, sorry. Plus 650. Louis to be the highest scorer on the internationals, and I also bet Louis 18 to 1 to be the highest scorer overall. He has a proven track record at the Presidents Cup. He's been good in a lot of these things. He was just second in Australia last week.
Pat,
he's been basically, if Rahm wasn't doing what he was doing, you'd be like, man, Louis having a really good run here.
Okay, Louis Oosthuizen, I was thinking about it as he came.
It's also not in America, so that's good news.
This guy literally travels the world playing C-rate events and coming. No, that Australian thing is bigger, but he plays BC events, traveling the world, coming top 3, never winning every time. At least for the last 6 weeks. And he does it every time this time of year. I'm with you, plus 650. He's going to play every session. Yeah, might there be an Aussie that goes 5-0 for them or does it? Sure.
Yeah, someone might get
hot.
Is
the concern that who's Louis playing with? We have some ideas with the American partners. I don't have a clue what they're going to be doing with this international team.
I got some takes on this. So I think you try to look skill set.
Just
wise.
The thing is, Ernie Els cannot, you would be able to do potentially at Ryder Cups, is where you have one of your power players babysit a newbie.
Yeah, so
Because
I think this makes a lot of sense then of who's going to play with who.
But do they have to make power teams and almost just hope to get lucky with their shitty teams?
Yes. So,
Because they can't afford to lose the matches that Adam Scott is playing in. So do you have to put Adam Scott with like a Cam Smith, like another really good player?
I think Adam Scott is playing with Cam Smith. I think that is like lock that in. I think those two are playing together. I think Louis is going to play with Leishman. Or there is rumors that he might play with Answer, which on paper doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but they both have very similar skill sets. Like they are both off the tee masters, wildly inconsistent with the irons, both good short game players. So I think that one of those two could be a move. So if you wanted to do that, if we bet Louis and we do see, and again, whatever the first match is, the teams can always change. But if you go out and win as a part of a team, they rarely switch it up on you. That if Answer and
especially Pat, since it's not the same day either.
If Answer and Louis go out together, and we know that before the first matches start, hopping on Answer as 18-1 to be the top international scorer is not crazy either. He can ride Louis' coattails, yes. And then if he wins singles, it's almost like we had Molinari and who was the other?
Fleetwood.
And Fleetwood bet together as top Euros at the Ryder Cup because they played together.
So you're saying the second we see that draw, you hope Louis doesn't, you just see who Louis playing with, and yeah, you almost want to bet that guy too.
Yeah. And you're getting huge odds. Like he's not playing with Sungjae. He's not playing with Scott.
And I don't think the market is strong enough where... Let's say they do.
I don't think it would move.
Yeah, like, oh my God, Ernie Els just announced Louis with this in his match versus this person. I don't think the market is dropping. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Especially because they're still likely to be, like, a best case scenario for most of these internationals are to be, like, pick'ems.
Yeah.
Because, like, there are very few scenarios where you could see them being favorites. Granted, they could absolutely win. Adam Scott and Cameron Smith could beat any of these teams.
It could be. The other option is if you wanted to like stick, like if Answer plays with Louis and you see that come down, that means they are sticking similar skill sets all together. And maybe that's a way to play it. So when you get into like alternate shot, there's alternate shot, right?
Yeah, that's the second session. Yeah.
That if you stick guys with similar skill sets, similar power all together, you don't get them out of the rhythm. Like one guy like Cameron Smith and Mark Leishman do very similar things. Answer and Louis do very similar things. Do you know who the guy... There's two guys, really, on the international team that do the exact same thing as Adam Scott. Who are they?
They hit it in what? Incredibly accurate?
Just skill. Like if you just took the prototype of Adam Scott. Neiman's one.
Is M the other?
Ann.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
How many missed putts are coming from Team Adam Scott and Byung-Hun An? I think the biggest question is, who does Hideki play with? Sungjae? I would say putting Ann with Hideki is probably better.
Sungjae could be sneaky too.
But Sungjae's not a deep hitter. Like it's weird to put him with like a guy who crushes it. He's good tee to green, but he's more like Hadwin's good tee. Like that could be a good team. Hadwin and him.
Okay. There are 5 points to be had on the first day. God, if the world team can find a way to get 2 of them, that's like an enormous victory.
Like I'm looking at PGAtour.com. Sean Martin predicts that Hideki's going to play with Hadwin. I just don't see that.
What, a putt for him? What? On the plane?
If that's the case, if that's the only reason, and El said that, he looked at the putting stats too, which are...
It was like pressure. I don't know. He seemed to make it sound like he had some fancy pressure stat.
Any putting stat is ridiculous. Don't look at it. It tells you nothing.
Listen, I waste so much money betting on guys that can't putt.
Look at the guys
hope for the best.
Yeah, and look at the guys who won on tour this year. The guys who can't putt.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. Like
you'd much rather be better. Corey Connors won on tour this year. You know who didn't? Adam Hadwin. Either way, if you're taking him for the sole purpose that he's a good putter, trying to put myself in Ernie's mindset here, that's why you take him.
Match plays one on greens.
You probably just stick him with Ann then. Here's a guy who can't putt. Let's put him with a guy who can putt. Problem solved.
So who is not playing for them? Like, who are their first 2 outs? Pan
has to, I'd say Pan.
And maybe Ann, just because you didn't have him on the team to start with.
Pan and Ann potentially, but if Answer doesn't play with Louis, it's probably Pan and Answer. Although Answer has that good, he won the Aussie Open.
Yeah, I would have Answer playing.
I would too, but I can just see that not being.
I would have Answer playing.
But it almost goes to the Ricky thing. Like, do you snub Ricky and Ann or on
because
as
they were,
captain's picks because they weren't good enough to be on the team. And now that they're on the team, you're going to play them all the time? That seems odd.
That does, absolutely. And again, as I was interrupting you before, guys winning, they don't even have to go out like 40 minutes later. They get a whole night to sleep on it. Anyone that wins is probably going back out together, at least internationally, because the Americans can win in so many ways that they feel they could have the wiggle room to break things up.
Is Haotong the sleeper of this team? Because we've seen him win big events, like real events.
He's gone head to head with Rory on a Sunday and won in big events. So that's a thing. If you want to put him up against a big name, we've seen him do some crazy things on, all of them obviously in faraway lands.
Yeah, well, if it didn't happen at Augusta, Jeff, it never actually happened. Haotong was even good at the match play this year too.
How many points should you get for like an even money international bet? 4, 3.5?
Well, if they're going to be minus 400 to win, I'd say, 3.5 to 4 is probably even money for the internationals. That'd be my guess. I don't know what the answer to that actually is. I can try to find it. Have you found it at all?
No, I don't see myself betting a side. I'll just be on matchups.
Matchups and players. Like we had such conviction about the Euros winning the Ryder Cup because of the team that they picked and the course that it was at. Like even with this course, like we can make the Augusta comparisons all we want, but that's more from a pristine and greens type place.
Yes.
I actually don't know much about how. Like I assume you'd have to be really good off the tee.
No clue. I don't even know.
Imagine if they played a Ryder Cup at Augusta. It would never actually happen. That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. We can't allow it.
I actually think Bubba was upset that he feels Tiger like kind of bumped the line in getting this captaincy.
Tiger could be doing bumps on the course. They'd be like, hey, Tiger, you want to be the captain?
But you're right. It's in Australia like Bubba. We need
someone who's like not afraid to fly, who isn't scared of foreign countries.
But we also need someone who, you have to sell this thing. This President's Cup.
And it's in December too, which is a really tough sell. The President's Cup anyway is a tough sell, but having it in December up against the NFL, it's going to be up against the NFL either way. 4 to
6 years ago, there was like a lot of talk that the tide was turning and there was this explosion of Asian golf that was going to change things, and it's not happening.
No one really made the leap besides Hideki. Sung Jae is the closest to making that leap, and he hasn't even won on tour yet. Trying to find the spreads. There's only one South African on the team, isn't there? I was like, what's
crazy, right? They used to be staples.
Oh, you can bet, correct. You can bet like correct day one score, correct overall score, or we can just bet the QBE shootout.
I was going to make that joke later. Who's Connors playing with?
Connors is playing
I didn't mind
with
that
Putnam.
team.
Connors Putnam.
I didn't mind that team.
Oh, I mean, how do you not bet on Hovland and Wolf?
Shut up.
That's a team. They're 5-1.
Who's the favorite?
Horschel and Brendan Todd.
Horschel's trying to get that rub, isn't he?
Oh, Bubba's playing in it. Him and CH3 are a team.
He could be pretty good.
Oh, Varner and Palmer? This sounds like a perfect event for them.
Charlie Hoffman's playing.
He's playing with Kisner. Chappell and Shez are playing. Sabatini and Tway are 16-1. Sean O'Hare and Lexi Thompson 40-1. I don't think they're going to win. Or you can bet on the Indonesian.
That's a really annoying because they play the 4 balls and one of these teams shoots like 14 under.
Well, where's Stricker and Jerry Kelly?
Well, Stricker's a vice captain.
You should be playing the QBC shootout, playing with Jerry Kelly. Yeah, top international though. I like Louis plus 650. Louis to win outright, most points 18-1.
If it's going to be Scott and Cam Smith though, you don't want to piggyback, maybe add Cam Smith to that at 8-1. Where you got to steal Scott's points.
Fun fact about Cam Smith: he stinks.
And he admitted he hasn't played much golf lately. Actually, before the Aussie Open.
I always get my weekly Cam Smith update from Wiley.
Yeah.
He gets real fired up after like 3 holes because he's 2 under, and he's like, +8.
I don't,
And if the thing is, I would be, their odds aren't deep enough. So like if I get answer with Louis, he's 18-1. Cam Smith's still considered one of the best guys on this team because he probably is one of the best guys on this team.
Yeah, it's true. So
he's not going up against Webb and Bryson. It'll be like Scott and Cam Smith against like Dustin and
Yeah, it's true. They have
whoever.
to.
They need to be the marquee team.
Els will see like the big team and be like, well, if I want to throw my big gun, it's
If they wanted to create a super team, put Scott and Hideki together. I don't understand why that doesn't seem to be on the table. They do the same things well. They both can't putt. Well, Hideki's been putting better.
That team would be favored.
That'd be a good team.
Like at home, that team would be favored.
Do we worry about Leishman? Skinny Leishman?
Why he's been shit lately, right?
He dropped like 30 pounds. Guy looks great.
No, I like all those. Right now, I'm buying the Kool-Aid on like liking the Aussies and not wanting to pick on them.
I mean, Weir did beat Tiger, the Presidents Cup in Montreal. Maybe there is something.
But they still got waxed.
I know, but he beat him in the singles match. The Canadian came through.
Hopefully
Dillette can play well enough to get back on the team, although his playing partner also is not on the team. That team was great.
Was it Day?
It was Day and Dillette. They were the only good team at the Presidents Cup.
That was the one before we got together.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah.
I thought
that wasn't the one they almost won. I
thought that was the one at Shinnecock Hills. Or Liberty. Forget which one that was.
No. Liberty was the last one.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my question. Is there like a boxing ring in Ernie Els' team room? Like the Americans are playing pinball and ping pong, but Els wants these guys to beat the shit out of each other. I'm just stealing from that like famous story that he flew someone on his private jet and like demanded they literally like just bare knuckle box.
I like it.
Elking Marino or it's a crazy story. Like you want to fly with Els? Like you're fucking throwing fists.
And people are betting on it.
Yeah. And Els is a brick shit house.
Yeah,
like
Els is a big fucking dude.
He is a house. Yeah.
But by the way, I don't like that you can tie in this. The tie should come down to the captains. So Ernie would have to face Tiger.
Well, that's not fair.
Oh, well, pick better captains then.
Yeah, I know the tie is bad. That was it was like Gary Player and Jack Nicholas wanted to like just raise hands and like, we're tied. It's sportsmanship. It's what it's all about.
I mean, sportsmanship sounds like a real Euro and Aussie type thing.
Patrick Reed won't even stick around for the ceremony.
No, just like when Dustin left at Chambers Bay, he's like, "Fuck this!
Empty
I'm
chair.
not sitting here."
I don't blame him.
I wouldn't blame him either. 3 putts to lose the U.S.
I
Open.
don't blame him. He was not.
He's just fuck this. Where's my private jet?
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm such a poor. Not a poor sport. I'm such a mental midget. I couldn't sit there. I'd have had to get out.
Paulino, let's roll.
It'll be interesting though, because it is such a small circle. These teams. If to your question earlier, if Team USA, if the guys like, is it just Twitter that cares, or are those guys in that team room that actually give a shit?
I don't know
about Patrick Reed.
I doubt it. People will be like, I have inside info, and everyone hates him, but it's probably some golf writer that everyone fucking hates. So why are we taking? You don't realize that everyone hates you, but you have the inside source.
I had this great mental image of myself. No, not of myself, but I was just
really. I only ever dream of myself as a narcissist.
No,
that's the only thing you can do.
As everything was just like the world was burning on the internet with this Patrick Reed thing, I had pictured this scenario where like there is a huddle of Tiger Woods and some guys like what to do, and Jordan Spieth is like chirping like from hiding in the closet, like kick him off the team. Take me, kick him off the team.
He's like, yeah, I agree with him. Yeah, you're
right. Because I saw that quote, kind of made me feel bad for Jordan. Like he's really sad. He's not on the like. It's almost
you know what? How about this? Play better.
Is it better to have loved and lost or not loved at all? Because once you've been on those teams and been a staple of them, they really are. I mean, I'm not saying anything new. They're the thing to be on, and they do have a great time.
Listen, it's more important to be on the Ryder Cup team. So play better this year, Jordan. You'll be on the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, of course.
Just improve 20% from what you did this year, win an event, and you'll be a captain's pick. You will. Like, they want a reason to take him on the team. So just play a little bit better and you'll be on the team. Because now he's not being mad. Like, the problem with Spieth is he's been so disastrous, but not really. It's not like he's lost his tour card or anything. He's still inside the top 50 in the world. It's just people are rating him versus his peak. And his peak was the best player in the world. And now he's not that. But now that you can rate him as being like the 50th best player in the world, if he gets back up to like 22nd, it'll seem like he's having a really good year.
Listen, my work here is done. And I don't think no one should ever come at me or insult me with my Jordan takes because it's done. And I'm okay to now like cheer for him because you're absolutely right. But we've done this thing for a while, and I don't think I said something ever that was wrong. When he was winning, I said, this seems a little magical. It will go away. He will have a significantly harder time making the swing adjustments than the true elites of the game have had.
Let me throw this out here at you.
But he's back. You made a great, but he's 44 in the world. I'm not going to sit here and say he's never going to win again. He makes so many goddamn birdies. Of course he can win again.
It was like when Phil couldn't win forever. And you're like, well, he's number one in birdie rate. Eventually, he's just going to have 4 clean days. He's going to win.
Is it fun? Like, am I enjoying that I made at the time was a very bold take? This guy's going to find trouble. It was a crazy take at the time. It was a cuss level take when I made it.
Except it was right.
And it's come through. So I'm going to say yay for me. And people get offended with that. But I got no ill will. I felt sad for him reading his quote about how sad he is that he's not on the team.
Well, maybe
he sat there watching that plane take off. Like, oh, bye, guys.
Maybe he'll kick him in the ass. Like you said, he needs to move out of Hunter Mahan's house.
Maybe.
Bad vibes in that house.
But it's already started. Like, makes one triple bogey pat, and everyone's like, Greller's gonna leave him. Like, all this stuff. I don't know. Greller's as beholden to him.
I gotta say, I don't think that Greller's gonna be leaving. I think Greller's made a pretty nice career off being Jordan Spieth's caddy.
It doesn't work like that. The caddy doesn't leave a top 50 player in the world.
And they're
the
also
caddy gets
best friends, aren't they?
The caddy gets fired. The caddy doesn't leave. Did we make jokes like Greller should go call Hovland, should call Wolfs, like get them? Yeah, of course. It's a joke. It's not leaving Jordan Spieth on his own will.
It would be like if Dustin's brother left Dustin to go with someone. Be like, all right, it's kind of weird. I will throw out this scenario to you about Spieth, and we look back on his career maybe 15 years from now. Is he Patty Harrington?
What does that mean?
He had like these 4 years, and he was lights out, and then he was just good the rest of his career.
And there'll be wins, and there'll be team events.
Yep.
And they'll be flirting with like T20, T25.
And you'll see him at all the majors for basically ever.
Sure. I mean, I'll say yes, because I don't believe that ceiling is I never believed in it, so I won't, like, I'll totally agree with that. Now, is part of my, like, this Jordan Spieth angst that I have inside me, is part of that just angry that I had big money on Justin at Chambers Bay, that I had big money on Matt Kuchar? Like, I'm sure that's all fucking part of it.
And we both like Patrick Reed, and we were both upset that people said that Reed was far worse than
Oh
Spieth.
my God. Our, like, first ever master shows are us being like, you guys are idiots. Jordan Spieth 18-1, Patrick Reed 100. There's nothing that separates these freaking guys.
And then Spieth won.
But how many masters do they both have?
They both have one. And we got it right the next year, so it was okay.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, I never believed in the ceiling. And then it happened. No different than, I don't know, like, I can admit, did I think Lamar Jackson was going to be an MVP?
No.
I
don't think anyone who says that they did is lying.
And then it happened. And you're like, well, this is amazing. This is cool. And yeah, sure. And maybe if you're betting against Baltimore every week, it's annoying, but I'm not, so I can enjoy it.
I'm not a Steelers fan, so I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. But I just say I never believed in the ceiling. So yeah. But I don't doubt it. He should win there were like 5 or 6 Saturdays, Pat, where this guy went like in the final group.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday
was his big problem. It was Saturday that killed him. It wasn't Sunday.
Remember
we had the money on him at Pebble?
Yeah, but you also had Phil. I
didn't.
didn't. I had to make a decision because I can't bet 2 guys I don't like.
Yeah, but we like Phil now.
I do. Well,
remember when Phil cheated?
Listen.
Remember that?
Well, people threw that.
Kick him off the tour. You know what? We should take Phil out of the Hall of Fame.
People got mad at me because I went at the joke of, well, why did you people allow Phil to make the Ryder Cup team?
He was making a point, Jeff.
He was defending the field. Phil Mickelson was looking out for Hao Tong Lee? Shut the fuck up. Phil was defending himself and how badly he was playing. Phil didn't care about any little man. Now, is it comparable? Was it different? Was it more of a joke than Patrick Reed cheating in the lead? Yes. But to sit here and tell me Phil was defending a little man while Reed was trying to steal money from other millionaires, go fuck yourself.
It's the difference between people like Phil and people hate Patrick Reed. That's the difference.
Moving ball at the U.S. Open for the little guy. Repeat that back that to yourself, crazy people.
In fairness to Phil, that was the day that I did my 180 on Phil. I stopped hating Phil and started to love
and
Phil.
then he got on the internet.
He was
started
great.
Last year when he was making fun of Matt Kuchar before they had a match play match. Like, he's a fucking man.
No, he was playing together with him at the Masters on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
He was driving up Magnolia Lane.
The best.
Great.
Did you actually hear? Oh my God, a great story that almost earlier in the week. During the Pro-Am at the Hero, after the fact, caddy of someone in the group that Kuchar was with asked him like for a tip. And the kid just meant like
A putting
a
tip?
chipping tip. And Kuchar went to the wallet.
Oh, yeah, he has to now. The guy will be
I was
over.
like, no.
The guy is going to be over tipping the rest of his life.
I literally meant a chipping tip, bro.
All right, let's close this out. DraftKings captains picks and bets. So DraftKings strategy, I don't know what the ideal strategy is here. But taking more Americans than Euros is probably the move because they're probably going to win, being minus 400 favorites. I'm just going to pick the U.S. to win straight up. I'm not going to bet on that because I don't want to lay minus 400 or minus 275 with the tie. And I still don't want to do that. So I will bet Louis plus 650 to be top international. I will bet him 18-1 to be the outright winner in points at the international team. But I do want to, like, if you really, realistically, you should probably wait till 6 a or what is it, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
on Wednesday is when it starts.
So like around 1 or 2
1 or 2
earlier, we'll have the
Yeah, once they announce the
No.
teams is when you should really
Sorry.
think about it. Objectively, I like Louis and I like Justin Thomas as my two captains picks. I think that Bryson or Webb are sneaky if they play together, making one of those two guys your captain's pick. And if Answer plays with Louis, Answer could be that guy.
I would like to let you know that those teams are going to be decided because the matches are like 8 in the morning their time, Pat.
The day before.
The night before is when we're going to have the matches out there.
Okay.
So we will see that. I'm with you on Louis. I think that's a great bet. I see Mr. Cooley is also touting it. He's picking the win.
He's picking
He's picking the win.
Oh, Ben. Ben's riding too much of a heater. Ben's had too many winners over the past month now that we've gone back to Europe. I pump the brakes on the Euros.
Oh, that's bold. Full marks.
Oh, it's CT Pan versus Tiger Woods in the singles.
Yeah, no, he's putting a lot of air in Louis like we are, and Adam Scott. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I'm on that Louis bet. I'm also I'm sneaky gonna find my way. I think Tony Finau at 16-1.
I'd rather Woodland.
And Woodland at 12-1 are sneaky American team leader bets. And if Woodland whoever is getting that Justin Thomas draw, unless it's Tiger Woods, because we know Tiger won't session out.
Yeah.
If it is a Woodland, then get on that.
Yeah, don't construct any DraftKings lineups until you know what the first day teams are, and only take players from those things because they could play all 5 sessions.
So I guess
if guys are sitting out the first session, that's not going to say they're not going to play the next 4. They could, but you know they're not going to get 5. Just having an extra match in this sort of thing is so valuable.
And don't you want to just take the chance and double up on teammates?
Yes.
Like you got to roll the dice. Like you're going to live and die with
stack
that team.
and golf stack.
You got to hope they win 6 and 5, 4 and 3. You get those. You get the.
The move may be, let's say you see, and this is a theoretical because it probably won't happen, but if you see that Kuchar is paired with Justin Thomas, and that is the team on day 1, that is not going to be the team, but let's say it is. If you play multiple DraftKings lineups and you want to use JT as your captain, but he's too expensive, just use whoever JT's partner is as the captain. And that way you get off a bunch of ownership in that way. It's like with Louis. If Louis is your guy, whoever is
He's my captain. He would be my
but
captain.
if you want to play like 5 lineups or 10 lineups or something, maybe you construct a few teams with whoever his partner is as your captain from day 1 and go on from there. That's just different ways you can differentiate your team because there is some strategy, just like in the match play, not picking 6 guys from the same side of the bracket. You know what I mean? Like finding player minutes remaining is going to be so key in this that you're gonna want to wait.
Why are they so high on? The books seem to have this impression that Tiger is going to throw Schauffele and Cantley out there a ton because they're the guys.
I agree. I think that's a good. If they play together, that would.
No,
be
I'm
a team
saying
I
they
would
are
want
the
to play
they are
all
the
5
guys.
sessions.
They are the 2 odds trailing Justin. I mean, Dustin's there, but we know that's a bad bet.
Maybe he's fine. Maybe he's just been rooking everyone.
I think he's got no in. He doesn't need. He's going to get a whole day off, maybe.
Yeah, but he's still probably the best player here. Brooks isn't here. And Rory's not here. Dustin's the best guy here.
I know, and Dustin with a teammate where he can just like unleash. Like you put Dustin with like a Cantley who never misses a green.
So
it's gonna be fun.
that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Follow Geoff Fienberg on the Twitters at GFienberg17.
Can't wait for the team picture in the formal wear. Like the gala night. That is peak team golf.
Outside of that, you can vote for Pat Mayo for Fantasy Analyst of the Year, Sports Betting Analyst of the Year. In the description of this video or podcast, take you like 40 seconds, boom. And maybe you can vote once per day. I don't know. But just do it as many times as you possibly can. Check back every single day. We need to win this one. It'd be good for the crew out there. We may not have the biggest audience. It's one of the biggest, but we don't have the biggest audience. But we can galvanize the audience better than anyone else. People who like this show, they care about this shit. And I care about this stuff. So let's go do this. Win for the team. Win for all of us. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me which player you think is going to score the most points at the Presidents Cup this time around. And if you want to get into a draw for 75 DraftKings dollars, subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show in between, and you'll be in that draw for 75 DK dollars. Other than that, we got plenty of golf coming at you over the next few weeks. No need to worry about that when other podcasts and shows are taking a Christmas break. Not the Pat Mayo Experience. We've already pre-recorded that stuff. So brand new golf content, and the PGA season starts very, very soon. So check it out. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!